Hello, and welcome to The History of Money. This is From Bartering to Banking by Martin Jenkins, illustrated by Satoshi Kitamura. Introduction. In the Yap Islands in the South Pacific, it can be a huge stone with a hole in the middle. In Sweden, 350 years ago, it was a great copper slabs that you needed a donkey to carry. It can be a string of shells or a bundle of special cloth. Nowadays, it's likely to be a row of ones and zeros in a computer somewhere. Some people have tons of it, more than most of us could possibly imagine. An awful lot of people have none at all, or so little that it makes no difference. We all know where it goes, but it's really hard to figure out where it comes from. Some people think it's the most wonderful thing, others think it's really, really bad. But we all seem to agree that one way or another it's pretty important. So what is it? It's money, of course, the stuff that makes the world go round. That doesn't grow on trees. That can't buy you love, apparently. Once upon a time, there wasn't any. And it's safe to assume that people then got along fine without it. Just as some people in some parts of the world manage perfectly well without it today. So, why would anyone have gone to the trouble of inventing it? And when? Chapter 1. In which nobody has any money. We know from archaeology that for a long, long time, humans have had tools, clothes, and ornaments, and we can be sure that they had these things long before they had money, or any need for money. We think that very early in human history, people lived in family groups, hunting and gathering food, and moving from place to place. The things they used would have been made from materials that they could get a hold of quite easily. Tools from stones and bits of bone, clothes from animals' skin or bark. If anyone needed anything, they were usually able to make it themselves or borrow it from someone else in the group. It's possible that the head of the group decided who needed what and when and handed things around accordingly. At some point, things changed. It might have gone something like this. Suppose you were living in one of those groups, and you found you were especially good at something useful, making javelins out of yew wood, perhaps. Soon, everyone in the group would want one of your special yew wood javelins. At first, you might just give them away. After all, what was yours was everyone's, in your group at least, and you'd rather be proud of the fact that you could make better javelins than anyone else's. But perhaps you'd find you were so busy making them that you didn't have enough time to go out and collect your own food. So people in your group would start to give you food in return for a new javelin. It might not just be objects such as javelins that people could offer others. One person might be able to use herbs to cure people when they were sick. Another might be an expert at setting broken bones. People would ask for their help when they needed their skills and give them something in return. Your group might also get in the habit of exchanging things with other groups. Some of this exchanging would have been a way of showing friendship, the way we give presents to people today. And some of it may have been because it was useful for both groups. You might have some extra wolf fur cloaks that you could swap for a load of dried fish from a group that had a good fishing season. Both really useful things for getting through the winter. That would be the start of what we call barter, swapping something you have that another person wants for something they have that you want. Mammoth skins for rhino horn cups. Pretty shells for pretty stones, dried fish for fur cloaks for dried fish, berries for nuts. That being said, We don't actually know for sure that barter was an important part of people's lives tens of thousands of years ago. Possibly not, after all. People always moving from place to place wouldn't have needed or wanted much stuff. One good fur cloak and perhaps a couple of javelins would do you nicely. Why would you carry more than that around with you? And next, chapter 2. That's where we're going to stop for today. So please go ahead and review chapter 1. We'll talk about it shortly. Thank you so much.